Smash Ultimate is over half a year old now. It introduced new game mechanics, new characters, and we've even gotten a few patches. And while Nintendo does work on balancing characters and fixing bugs, there are a few things in the game that still bother us and many other players, like the buffer mechanic or how the C-stick works. I'm C5 from the Beefy Smash Dudes, and in this video we want to discuss some of the biggest problems the community has expressed over the past months and maybe even get Nintendo's attention. We're gonna talk about three things: the buffer system, the C-stick, and the short-hop aerial mechanic. Buffering in video games is a mechanic that allows you to input certain actions slightly before a different one is finished. The game stores an input, and as soon as your previous action ended, the buffered action starts. This makes inputting one action after another easier and can make a game feel more fluent and intuitive. How big of a window you have to buffer your next attack varies between different games, and some don't allow you to buffer at all, like Melee. That's why after getting used to newer Smash titles, going back to Melee without any warm-up can feel very clunky. Some inputs just won't come out because you press them too early, being used to the buffer. Buffering is a great mechanic, but on the other hand, if the buffer window is too big, it can also lead to problems like unwanted inputs, making the game less precise. In Smash Ultimate, you usually have a buffer window of 10 frames, which is 1/6 of a second. So if you press a button up to 10 frames before the current action finishes, you will buffer that input. If you buffer more than one action, the game decides which action to perform based on how much priority the actions have. Specials have the highest priority, then shield, then jump, and lastly attack. So if, for example, you buffer special and shield, you will always get the special. Knowing this can be useful when, for example, recovering at low %. When you get hit towards the stage, simply press up special and shield, so you wall tech if you have to, but use up special if you don't hit the wall. That way you will never accidentally air dodge. But let's get back on topic. There is another buffer mechanic that was introduced in Smash Ultimate, the hold buffer. Basically, during a move, you can simply hold any action, and as soon as your character is ready, they will perform that action. It doesn't matter how early you start holding the button, so it's different from the regular buffer, which only works for 10 frames. Hold buffering was most likely introduced to make the game easier for new players and possibly to make online play more fluent in case of stuttering. But in reality, this mechanic doesn't really do much for anyone who knows how to play the game at least a bit. If anything, it can even lead to misinputs and a less precise smash overall. The hold buffer itself isn't a big problem though. The problem is one specific mechanic, or maybe even a glitch, that has to do with hold buffering. If you press shield and to a side and release only the control stick again while still holding shield, you will buffer a roll as soon as you land on the ground. It doesn't matter how early you push to the side and whether or not you did it at the same time. If at any point while holding shield you push to the side for just a moment, you will perform a roll when landing. Sorry, but this is bullshit. Usually, hold buffer works like this. If you hold, let's say, special, the game remembers neutral special. As long as you keep holding special, it doesn't matter what you do with your control stick, you will get that neutral special once your character is ready. Or if you input up special and hold special, the game will remember up special even if you release the stick again or hold it into a different direction. The same thing goes for aerials. But with the shield, it works differently for some reason. If you hold shield, the game remembers shield. Push to a side and it turns into roll. Now, if you release the stick again, the game will still be stuck on the roll command as long as you hold shield. It also works with pushing down and spot dodge, by the way. You can actually switch the directional input during the hold buffer to get a different roll or a spot dodge, but you can't get rid of the directional input as long as you hold shield. Pushing up won't do anything. This often happens after a directional air dodge if you try shielding right after landing, but can also happen after other actions, like for example a throw. If you grab by pressing shield and A and push to a side for the throw, if you keep holding shield afterwards, you will buffer a roll. You can avoid that by always releasing shield and pressing it again without a directional input, but it's still really annoying. Interestingly, this weird buffer does not occur for aerial shield options, so air dodges. No matter if you hold shield and push to a side before, if you release the stick again before actually dodging, you will always get a neutral air dodge. This weird mechanic exists ever since the demo, and we honestly still believe that it is simply a glitch. The mechanic makes no sense and has led to a ton of misinputs for many players. Please Nintendo, look into this and fix it in an upcoming patch. Smash Ultimate's next really big flaw is the C-Stick, and actually the C-Stick has two problems that we are going to talk about. So in Smash, the C-Stick isn't actually its own command. It is just a macro that combines an A press and a directional input. With Smash Stick, it's as if you push the control stick all the way to the side, and with Tilt Stick, it's as if you only tilt the stick. What this means is that if you use the C-Stick while your character is airborne, they will always move a tiny bit. They will move more with Smash Stick than with Tilt Stick, and holding the C-Stick seems to be equivalent to pushing the control stick for 3 frames. This is already annoying for spacing aerials, since the C-Stick overrides the regular stick, but it becomes even worse if you use the C-Stick while jumping. In Smash, if you jump while pushing into a direction, your character performs a diagonal jump. So you move into a direction right away instead of slowly accelerating. This works for grounded as well as for aerial jumps. Now, if you push the C-Stick into a direction while jumping, you will always also move slightly into that direction. Even if you try jumping into the opposite direction using the control stick, the C-Stick will prevent you from jumping backwards, which is extremely annoying. You can avoid that by either waiting until after the jump went off and then pushing the C-Stick, or if you jump from the ground, by pushing the C-Stick only for a very short moment. Because if you release the stick again before your character takes off, the C-Stick will have no impact on your movement whatsoever. But that brings me to our second problem with the C-Stick: performing wrong aerials. If you use jump and push the C-Stick at the exact same time, the game does not care in which direction you push the C-Stick, but instead gives you an aerial depending on what your control stick was doing. This also happens if you buffer both the jump and the C-Stick input. Jump plus C-Stick forward without using the control stick? Have a neutral air. Wanna jump back while doing a forward air? Too bad, here's a back air. The only way to avoid this is to simply not buffer both and not input them at the same time. Wait with the C-Stick until you already started the jump. But careful, you don't want to push the C-Stick too late or you get the unwanted momentum from earlier. The fact is, using the C-Stick feels extremely unprecise. Nintendo will most likely not change the fact that the C-Stick is just a macro, since it was always like that in previous Smash iterations as well. But they do have genius game developers in the Smash team, and we are sure that if they see this as a problem, they can fix it. The third flaw of Smash Ultimate is the short hop macro. As you might know, if you input a grounded jump and an aerial at roughly the same time, your character will always perform a short hop and the aerial, never a full hop, no matter how long you press the jump button. This is supposed to make short hop aerials easier for beginners, but it comes with one big drawback. Full hop aerials are now slightly slower and more difficult. You can't buffer a full hop aerial because you will always get a short hop aerial instead. So if you want the full hop, you have to wait until your character left the ground before you can input your aerial. This means that in the best case scenario, you lose 1 frame, but usually you lose a few more since it's so hard to input an aerial frame perfectly. We do understand what Nintendo was trying to do here, but the fact is, some people simply prefer doing short hops the regular way if it means being able to do full hop aerials more easily. So in our opinion, what Nintendo could do is include an option in the controls where you can choose whether you want the easy short hop mechanic or not. That way everyone is happy. We want to try and get Nintendo's attention and let them know how the community feels, but for that we need your help. Smash Ultimate is an amazing game, and there are more people than ever participating at tournaments, creating content, and just playing the game. Of course, no game is perfect, but nowadays it is possible to make changes to a game afterwards to at least get it closer to perfection, and we know that the Smash development team has an eye on what the community is talking about. There were several glitches and exploits that have been shared on social media and been patched out shortly after. So we made a tweet explaining the 3 issues and added the hashtag #FixSSBU. The link is in the description, so if you have Twitter, retweet our post so as many people as possible see it, or share this video with anyone who plays Smash. Shoutouts to John Numbers for inspiring us to make this video. What do you think? Will Nintendo listen and make the changes? Should they even make the changes, or do you don't see these 3 points as problematic as others? Let us know in the comments and subscribe for more Smash content. As always, thanks for watching, see you soon and stay beefy.